Green is the new gold. Our 18-hole Niklaus design, award-winning golf course and clubhouse will leave you green with envy. We don't just say, we do. It's the Stain City way.
Welcome to the Tuesday edition of Real Talk. Look, I was going to intro the show by saying my guest today is the current reigning winner for Album of the Year at the South African Music Awards. I was also going to say he won Best Dance Album twice, Best Engineered, Best Urban Dance. I was going to chuck in that he won the BET Award for the Best International Artist last year. And I was going to talk about how amazing his collabo is with Alicia Keys in Common. Then, Beyonce includes him in her anniversary playlist, and I lost my mind. All sense went out the window, and I was just like, woo, hold the milk. He is black coffee.
What an intro.
You must.
And you and the love for Beyonce.
I mean,
yeah.
When she did that, I promise you, I ran around the house. I was so like,
cool.
What do you mean?
Yeah, that is so amazing.
It was amazing for you, right?
Yep, because you want people like Beyonce to know what you do. You know, so if you're there, it means, you know, we were laughing about it at home, you know, so Umbal is like, so if Beyonce knows, that means maybe she knows your Instagram, and then if she knows your Instagram, she knows mine too.
I know. No, don't worry. I don't think there was anyone in the country who wasn't trying to connect the dots. I was like, okay, if Beyonce knows Black Coffee, ne, and I'm from Umtata,
yeah, oh my
and Black Coffee is also from Umtata, surely she's researched where he was born.
The other
Therefore,
people, yeah.
Then they're like other celebs from Umtata, and then Anele comes up. And then she knows me. Guys, Beyonce knows me though.
But she knows you. Come on.
Stop it. And there's an eternal fight between Umtata and KwaZulu-Natal as to where you were born.
So, no Anele just pause.
Thank you. So his
and then when I'm with
Spare and Naves and
Spare and Naves and Kulumizulu.
So basically you're shy.
Not really. I was born in Durban. The age of 8, moved to Engangelize Mthatha.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
when not Crest.
Yes, I'm
from
exactly. Oh, Ustwai means like you are suburban.
You are.
But have you seen North Crest lately?
I know.
It's all the same now.
I know.
Atul Madala Street, don't worry.
Yes.
So 8 years old, you moved from KZN to Mthatha.
Yes.
And I read somewhere that your mom was not happy with you moving to Mthatha.
She wasn't, but it was the only thing she could do. You know, first of all, my mom had me when she was 16.
Okay.
You know, she got married very early, and as you grow up, you realize how much she was so young.
Yeah.
You know, and so she had to let her kids go. Which was
so you're cool.
Yes.
This is why you always have a jersey.
Yes. Yeah, you see cardigan.
You can see people who always wear the grandmothers. They always have a jersey.
You crochet. So that's where I grew up, and in a very warm home. The kulen solusin komo and then literally solusa, the sang komo in the morning, and I would go milk cows in the afternoon as well.
So that was your life.
Entirely until I finished high school. I was that guy in school who cooking komo go up, you know.
Okay.
I used to.
But that was your wealth then. That's how they were affording to.
Kind of. No, my grandmother was a very hardworking woman. She had a job. You know, she went as old as she was working at the hospital. Betunga. You know, she was working in the sewing room at the hospital, and having cows was one of her. I think she was a tough lady. This is a space where no woman owned cows, and she was the only one, you know. And yeah, it wasn't really her way of making money.
But there's a work ethic that especially abafazi baseNgangeliza have, because my grandmother's also from Ngangeliza, Street.
I know.
And she had a little hostel situation in the backyard, and there was always somebody renting there, and she was always looking to make extra money.
Same.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Same.
Would you say that's where your work ethic came from?
Crazy, yeah. I was very young. I used to be up 5:30 in the morning every day, summer, winter. 4:30 in the afternoon I used to go without anyone telling me it's time to go. I used to hate it as a kid. I didn't have time to play with other kids, but you know, it plays a big role now. You know, I'm not scared to work. You know, I'm
not scared to wake up in the morning.
No, it's my thing. It taught me a lot.
Is there music playing in your grandmother's house all the time? No,
that's the thing. You know, my music career is something very, very weird, because I wasn't that singing kid where the whole family is like, you know, there was no connection with music that was visible. You know, I just loved music, as any kid would. I just loved. I was drawn into it. I wanted to be in any space where there was music. In school, as Mele, when they introduced the first music class, I wanted to be in that class. Can you sing? No. Can you play an instrument? No. And I think the teacher didn't want to be funny and be like, so what are you doing here?
Okay, you can just stay here for numbers.
You know what I'm saying? So I was always there, and then got into the choir growing up, but I was always there.
So, but am I wrong when I say you used to sing backup for Madala?
Got there too.
But how are you singing backup?
No, but I mean, once you get in a choir, then there's training.
Then there's training, you know, then the voice comes alive.
Yeah, and also we did like, we had our own a cappella group. Okay. You know, happening later on in tech, where it was, if it's a gospel group.
Okay.
And then if there's ladies, and then it's like a boys to men, you know.
For some sort of.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So there was that culture, you know, that grew me as a singer, you know, to a point where when I got to university tertiary, when I started jazz, I sang. My main instrument was voice. So I did voice, jazz voice.
So, I mean, Pharrell also started by being in a music class in high school. And I mean, he's a producer, you're a producer. He's international, you're international. He says that, I know he's so shy. He says that when he sees music, he sees it in colors. They just come at him, you know, in colors. When you see music, how are you receiving it when it lands on you?
That's a special gift, if I may call it that. Not everyone sees music in that sense. I don't think there's a tone for me or a color, but it touches a certain. For me, it's a very powerful thing. Even growing up as a kid, if I was unhappy at a certain moment and a song played on radio when I was young, and I hear this song today,
emotions the same.
My day is gone, you know. And so I stay away from music, certain kind of music that reminds me of my childhood, and because I pick it up immediately, you know. It could be an amazing song, but if it played on radio, because radio then used to repeat songs so much, if a certain song played, I'm like, I wouldn't even remember what happened that day. But it
takes you to that very feeling.
Yeah, music brings that to me.
All right. Yeah. So we're going to take a quick ad break. When we return, we revisit where it all started for Kosinati before he was even introduced to house music. And don't forget our weekly competition. You stand a chance to win yourself an at-home e-gift card. It's worth 5,000 Rand. And then I must do this. I want to tip my hat to Child Welfare South Africa for the incredible work that you've been doing, protecting the children in the country. Every child naturally needs a superhero, and we want to salute you for that. Find out how you can help them and get involved at the end of the show. We'll be right back with Black Coffee. And welcome back to Real Talk right here on SABC3. Apparently, we're trending already because of black coffee. As Somizi would say, it's you. Halala, halala. Listen, if you just joined us, my guest today is the globe-trotting, breaking down barriers, icon, and prolific DJ. He is the real Black Coffee. majority of famous people across the globe will always say that they were shy when they were kids. And then I'm like, really, Nikki? You know what I'm saying? You're like, Nikki, are you just saying that? Or,
Yeah.
But with you, I can believe it.
Oh, it was terrible. It was terrible. I was that guy, even amongst my friends, I was a late bloomer. You know, I tell this story to my son a lot, Lumdala, like, listen, there's nothing wrong.
Take your time.
There is nothing wrong. Actually, it makes you even cooler.
Exactly,
Yeah.
because you're just unattainable. Because
Yeah.
when you are shy yourself, right? And I know I'm saying this, I was never shy. From this high, I was like, yeah. But when you are shy, when I'm looking at you, you're mysterious. But now kids look at being shy as like this thing that's wrong with them.
Something so wrong, yes.
Whereas I think it's fine. I think
It
you must
is.
celebrate
You
it.
get to learn, you get to see, because people around you are not, so they're experimenting, and you're like, wow, really? Wow. You know?
Did what?
Yeah. So it's cool. Yeah, everything has its time. So it took me a while to do everything, you know, yeah.
What foods take you straight back to your childhood?
I must, because there was cows at home.
Okay, so sour milk was a natural thing.
Yeah. Even now, when I come back, my wife just knows. Inkomazi, you know, even when I don't feel like it sometimes, she's like, I made your favorite. I'm like, I kind of like wanted a steak. You know?
Where's the T-bone?
You know? But yeah, that's how it is.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And it's so funny when you like cows, milk, but then your name is Black Coffee.
Yeah.
How did we get to...
It was from a friend.
Okay.
During tertiary time. Yeah. Just used to call me that.
Oh, because you dark in complexion?
Yeah.
Oh.
And then one day I remember I was filling a form for a Red Bull Academy application, and they were like, DJ name, and I was like, DJ name. I used to call myself Nati for the longest time. I used to, you know. I thought, okay, let me give myself this one. And I wrote Black Coffee for the first time. And when I got there, they gave me a tag with Black Coffee, and people were calling me Black Coffee, and I was like, oh, that's me. You know, it took me a while to really adapt to the name, but it's quite cool. It works everywhere.
It honestly does.
Yeah.
So I know 3 people, right, personally, but they don't know each other. But I know them. Like, I'm the common link between them 3, who all swear that they were there the day you had your car accident.
Wow.
I know, right? and it's so funny, and because we're all from Umtata, right?
Yeah.
So I let them tell the story, and I've never said...
Is it different?
Yeah.
With all of them?
Yeah, one is a taxi, one is a car, one is you guys
Taxi
were...
one is right.
No, one is you guys were playing on a roof of the shop. And then you fell and you landed on your hand. And it's fine. Me, I listen to all the stories. I'm like, okay, Nyani. You. Then the next one comes like a year later. So what's the story?
The story is eve of Nelson Mandela's release.
10th of Feb.
Yes, the whole country's going crazy celebrating Mandela's release. And Mthatha, it's small town.
Mandela's from Umtata, so our celebrations were like...
It was crazy. And I think the whole idea was to sing, camp in a stadium.
Yeah.
Which is not far, Rotary, not far from our house.
Yeah.
But before then, people were just singing on the streets, going up and down.
Oh, Mandela.
And they went past my house. My house is not on the main road, which was quite weird. They went past my house, and my grand was there, who's very strict. We just jumped in. You know, and she didn't say anything wrong because she thought we were going to come back, but I never did. We just up and down, I think early hours of the morning, around 3, 4 now on the 11th, just out of nowhere, I just heard the sound. And it didn't sound like a car bumping people. It sounded like someone was shooting. You know, we had this sound, and then it was just dark, it was blank. And then when I woke up, there was fire, they were burning this guy's taxi, there was cars taking people to the hospital, and I was in one of the cars to the hospital. I wasn't clear what was happening.
Yeah.
You know, and when I got to the hospital, I was told, they couldn't figure out what was wrong.
Okay.
You know, they just thought it's just a fracture on the arm.
Yeah.
You know, early hours in the morning, I went back home in pain. Now Mandela's out. I was sitting on the couch. I didn't even know how to sit. You know, I was in crazy pain, and he was out of jail, and we saw the celebrations, and you know,
everyone's happy, and you're like, if this guy only knew.
I know, yeah, it was really bad. And the second day, my grandmother was like, okay, you have to go home. So I got in a taxi the following day to Durban. You know, the guy who's talking about an accident from the roof, that might be true. As a kid, I hung out with some crazy kids, and we had a lot of different accidents as kids.
Okay, so he's not lying. He's just lying.
That story, you know. There was a point where I had a lot of injuries, to a point where my grandmother was worried that she kept saying, they're going to take you.
As in you're going to die?
Yeah, she was like, they're going to take this. There's some spirit that is following you.
Did she ever slaughter? Because you know black mothers and slaughter.
No, she did in a way. She took me to and my grandmother was very religious, so she didn't believe in going to a inyanga to find out. So she took me to this church, and she spoke to this lady, and she was like, I have a serious problem. This is my grandson, and at least once a week there's an accident. If you could walk I'll go play a soccer game, I come back with stitches on my head, or, you know, there was just a lot happening. Yeah. And so this was it now. She was like, okay, you have to go home. So you can't die in my care, basically.
Okay, so when does she learn? Wait, when you say you had to go home, as in, this is when you moved from Mthatha for good?
No, it wasn't.
Oh, okay.
You know, but she just like, because the hospital doesn't know what's wrong with you. Because usually you get a cast if it's a fracture, but they couldn't because they didn't know. It's a small hospital. Then I got admitted, I think I stayed in the hospital for like 3 months. They didn't know what was happening, you know, until they called in a specialist, and they found out it was a brachial plexus, which was a damage of the nerves on my shoulder. Okay. After that, they were like, okay, it seems to be no life in your arm at all. So we're going to do a test. If we find nothing, we're going to amputate your arm. You know, so I went through this, and they put all these things on it to see if there was life. And fortunately there was, but they just said it's going to take a lot of time. For it to rehabilitate, for it to grow. My nerves were badly damaged, you know, and at the time I couldn't move, I couldn't feel even temperature. If you were to pour cold water or hot water, I wouldn't, you know what I mean? You wouldn't react. So it has taken time for me to sort of like come back, and I'm starting to train now, I'm starting to slowly. So you can feel a little something every now and then. Sensation now, I'm better. I've started feeling all the way down. And I mean, science is better now, so obviously there's. I don't know if I want to do this, you know. You don't want to be like a guinea pig, like, let's try this. No. I look at it this way. God just put me in that space for a purpose. You know, I can't imagine myself now DJing with 2 hands. I think I'd suck. It would be so awkward. I'd suck. Yeah, we'd all be like, what's it doing? Hey, black. Put your hand back in. We'll be back after the break. And welcome back. Joining me today in studio is world-renowned DJ and producer Black Coffee. So, Shana. Yes. That's my university. That's my school. Listen, that song with Laduma Ngxokolo. Yeah, it was so powerful. We fought with her so much about that song. Of course you fought with Lebo. What do you think will happen? Oh, yeah. So, I mean, Lebo was doing her album, and we were doing ours at the same time in the same studio with Christos. Yeah. We produced the album. We even, I did some backing for, you know, Our Dede. Our Dede. We produced that song. And we did so much for your album. And then we were doing ours, and then we had this song. And she walked in the studio while it was playing. She was like, I want to be on this song. We were like, okay. Christos put the mic on, 1 take. She didn't write it down.
Don't joke.
One take.
Yeah. Don't joke. One take.
One take. She didn't practice. She had the song once. She's like, I want to be on this song. She recorded that, and both albums came out.
At the same time?
Yeah, but that song
wasn't on her album.
No, but she literally just took it. You know, like she performed it, which is cool. It was kind of like helping us as well, in a way.
When I went to go look for it as a kid, I thought it was labels, and I couldn't find it.
It wasn't there.
And I don't know by what chance happened where some guy at a music or someone was like,
it's on this side.
It's Shan, and then it was a CD cover, you guys, it's a black cover, and there's 3 of you guys there.
The faces,
and I was like, go banana. I'm like, I'm like, where's Lebu here?
What a star, man.
But did you ever see her perform it?
Listen, we had a show in UJ, Soweto. She's performing before us, and we have this chat at Lebu. We're both performing tonight. So do your set. Don't do the song. We do our set, and we bring you.
Yeah.
You know, we perform the song together. She's like, cool. And Christos was playing for her. Christos, who we work with.
Yeah,
we produce, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And she starts doing a set, and then she rocks the song, and Christos is there playing it. Oh my God.
The betrayal. Wait, please tell me.
I stopped talking to her for a long time. I'm like, I can't deal with you.
For
the longest time, I'm like, I can't deal with you.
She took it and ran.
Yeah, man. What a sweetheart, though. What a talent.
But this is like the fight. Remember, Brian McKnight and Mariah Carey also had this fight.
I don't know.
That song, I will never be too far away.
Wow.
Yeah, it's Brian's song.
Oh my
then Mariah jumped on.
Like,
Mariah off-ramped, Baba. What? N2.
Same thing.
Go on. But then you guys got over it and you started speaking again.
Of course.
Because both of you insanely talented.
Of course. Yeah.
How does Shana start? Because you're doing jazz studies in KwaZulu-Natal. And
no, before. Well, yeah. But while I was still in Mthatha, Nozugo, walking in the corridors, I hear this guy speaking in Zulu. In Mthatha, you know.
Which is?
Which is short.
Yeah.
So I go to him, I'm like, how are you, man? You know, where you from? And he says, no, I'm from Durban. So he became my dearest friend and my brother. Since then, high school, we were together. We were the Zulu boys in school.
Mthatha, yeah.
And then a year when we finished high school, I went to study music. You do a bridging course. Okay. He went somewhere else here. And then while I was studying, because I always knew how talented he was, I kept saying to him, you need to come here. This is where you belong, the music school. And
you found that you were growing in the music school?
Yes, there was a lot of stuff that we were doing there. And so when I was doing first year, he got in doing the bridging course. But there was Demo who was ahead, who was a senior. And then me being the guy from Elokshi in Mthatha, I was so much drawn into the studio. When you're doing a bridging course first year, you're not allowed in the studio. It's for second years and third years.
It's the Holy Grail.
But I used to go there and sit and listen to everyone and watch, and I was so fascinated. It was my first time in the studio, and one day, the devil spoke to me. It said, take this key, go make your own copy of this key, and have your own copy.
Okay.
So I had my own copy of the studio while I was doing bridging course. And I wasn't staying far from school. When everyone leaves, I would walk in at 6, get in studio, lock myself in, literally stay the whole night. I didn't even know how to switch the computer on. But I stayed there. I started learning how to use the studio. He wasn't bridging. He could sing. I had started making songs in studio.
Wow.
So, and we were friends from high school. So we started making songs together. But they were terrible. Oh, they were bad. And Demo, who was our senior, had these songs, and he was like, this is quite cool. I play keys, so let me help you, you know. So we started doing songs together now, officially, because he can access the studio. Then it sounded good.
Yes, because also you have like an older senior.
We started performing in the school lunch hour concerts, and that's how it started.
So when it comes to creating music, because I've spoken to you where you said, Anele, I got on a plane and I was going to Japan, and the entire flight, I was producing the song, right? So, and to me, that's always stuck with me, and I'm like, play any black? Hey, you are a machine, man. So when it comes to the spaces you're in, when songs like We Come Together come alive, or, you know, all these in common, all these brilliant songs, like your ideas, which space is the most sacred for you to receive the music, and it touches that nerve you were talking about earlier?
I think now I've learned that when I'm away, it doesn't matter where. When I'm away, like I was away last week, I was supposed to come back, but I was tired, so I decided to stay in Geneva. I was given 3 songs to remix. The third one I won't really mention, Anele. The third one I want. One is Asha. The Tell Me song. The second one is Little Dragon.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I love Little Dragon.
Little Dragon has been in South Africa. The woke kids love Little Dragon. Yeah. My little sister's so into Little Dragon.
They're really amazing.
Even Solange has got a
They're really amazing.
Okay. Yeah. And then the third one?
I can't say the third one. I'm sorry. I'll get into trouble.
I tried.
So, but I stayed there and worked. Because when I'm home, there's kids, you know, to be picked up from school. There's stuff to do here. You know, when I'm there, it's just me and the music.
It's clear for you.
Yeah, yeah.
And also, I remember Chris Martin from Coldplay. He was saying that when he's on the road and he's on stage, he finds that's when he creates the bass, because you come off stage and that energy, and he takes the crowd energy into studio.
I have a lot of things on my phone where I just record things. You know, it doesn't matter. Sometimes I'll be playing and I just record things and keep them on my phone, and then later on just work on them.
How do you lay it down? Are you like...
I sing. Yeah, bass lines, melodies. That's how I came with Superman. I literally sang the chorus. Can you be my Superman? The way it is. You know, so it's different things. Sometimes it's the melody of the song, sometimes it's the bass line, sometimes it's the rhythm. And the Deep in the Bottom with Monique Bingham, it was the rhythm. Deep in the bottom. You know, so it's different things, and then I find time, and then I make it work.
Okay, on the way, I want to know how you pair vocalists, because it is something you know how to do very well. And I think that's part of your success, where, you know, you've got this melody and you've got this, you know, the bass and whatever. Then you just find the perfect vocalist for it. And I want to talk about this 60-hour gig that you wanted. We'll be back after the break. All right. And we're back trending at #1 on Twitter. Listen, apparently, I mean, Nati was reading his tweets now. You guys are still fighting on Twitter about whether he was born in KwaZulu-Natal, Mthatha. Recap. Born in KwaZulu-Natal, moves to Mthatha when he's 8 years old, and then moves back to KwaZulu-Natal to study. Please, can we not fight about this any longer? Right now, we're discussing the collabos that he's done. I mean, he's got with Drake and Georgia Smith, Get It Together. That song made it onto the BBC radio. It's even on Beyonce and Jay-Z's wedding anniversary playlist. Man, how about that?
It was number 45 on the top 100 Billboard. That is, for me, that is unreal.
Billboard.
Yeah, it was number 45.
That is major.
Yeah. I was driving the other day thinking before it came out that, so Drake wants a song from me.
You're just like, Drake? And I mean, Drake is a beast.
For real, like,
he's a beast.
Before I'm like, Drake wants the song, like, you know what I mean? Because that song was made in 2008.
Yes, with Busi. He
wants to release a song in 2017. Do you understand? An ego boost of a producer to say, I want your old song as is. I'm going to put it on my new album today.
And then do you know what I'm going to do on that album? The song right afterwards, I'm going to call it Matia.
Yes. Yes.
That's when I was like, okay, Drake. Do you know what? I was like, thank you, Black Coffee. You know when you just pray to God, you're like, dear God, thank you so much for Black Coffee. Just thank you. He is a national key point. Okay? Very soon we're going to be fighting about nationalizing Black Coffee.
Oh my God.
When you pair a vocalist, because I mean, you know, Drake took the song, didn't use Busi, but she's fine because she, you know, she's fine.
She works.
She works,
yeah.
and she's amazing.
Yeah.
How do you pair vocalists?
I think deep down, I want to be as great as the singers that I work with. You know, so, and I know I can't, so I find people that sing very well, and then I let them shine. You know, in the music, if you listen to the music, I never overwhelm.
Ever.
I let the artist come out.
In fact, their voices cut through. Like with Monique Bingham,
that's
like
what I want.
It almost cuts through, and then the voice lives on its own. But the melody is amazing. I mean,
with the song with Shekina, and
when
she comes on, you're like, wow.
Nominated for a summer, well done.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. But I think that award is for Questa. I appreciate the nomination.
Okay.
You know, I just feel like
it's best collab, ne?
Yeah.
So the Questa's in for good.
Yeah.
With Casper and
we have to be real.
Sorry.
You know what I mean?
I like you too. You know,
you know what I mean?
You know, you and me, we're here, but
he deserves
it's Questa's.
Yeah.
I hear what you say.
Yeah.
So I like that you said that the way you produce music, you produce as a fan, right? And that's why you when it comes out, it can be enjoyed by the fans. Do you which concerts? What spaces do you like going to? Like either movies or another person's concert? You know, what spaces do you like to go to and be a fan?
I'd say radio, Anele. I don't really go out that much. But for me, where the story starts is I look at my life now and I'm still in awe why I'm sitting here, because I was never that kid who wanted to be a superstar and be loud and you must be seen in the room. You know, I've just been a fan of music. That's all. And that's what being a fan of music got me. And that's what I do. I create music as a fan. I listen to music as a fan. I speak about Questa and Gutu as a fan.
As a fan.
Not as a guy who would be involved in that song. So when I create music, it's from with people. When I DJ as a fan. If I was there on the dance floor,
what would I want to hear
next? Would I dance to this music? So I find it hard to go to clubs because I critique the DJs quietly. I'm like, don't play that song, don't play that song. Oh, you played that song. Okay, guys, I'm out.
Oh, jeepers. Because there's a bit of self-indulgence in that,
you know
right?
what I mean?
Yeah.
So I struggle that much when I go out. But all I am is a fan. I never wanted to be sitting here with you. And so it conflicts a lot with who I am, really. Because people are like, come on, dude, you have black coffee. I'm like, no, I'm nutty.
I'm just nutty.
You know? And in the end, it conflicts a lot with everything that I do, because I will walk into a room, say hi to everyone, and people are like, wow, you are so cool. But I'm like, as opposed to...
yeah, what was I supposed to be?
You know, and people, they will always mention the humbleness after they say how successful I am. You are so successful, and yet...
Yeah, and yet you are humble, as if those two things
you know, I'm like,
just go hand in hand, Jay.
So if I wasn't as successful, it wouldn't matter if I was humble or not. You know, so that's my take. I do everything as that guy who just loves music. In my head, I'm not famous. You know, I try.
In your head, Puff Daddy doesn't have your number. In your head, Cassie is not out there. In your head.
All that is there, but personally, when I sit down, I'm just cool. Yeah.
Who do you bounce your ideas off?
Everyone. Now I've learned to, especially my 17-year-old.
Yeah, because he'll tell you what's popping or not.
Sometimes he's hard just because he can. You know, I bring nice sneakers. He says, no, they're fake.
Ooh.
And then 2 days later, he's wearing them. I'm like, I thought you said. It's like, no, because I'm wearing them, they're not.
Now they're the legit deal.
So everyone around me, it's just something I had to learn to do. So I live in my head a lot. And it helps me sometimes, you know. I speak to my wife a lot about things. But I speak to her, telling her, this is what I'm going to do. And she's like, maybe, I'm just saying.
Yeah, this is me.
And I think about, and I'm like, no, this is, and then later on, I'm like, actually, she has a point.
There's something very quietly strong about her, right? Did you know? Yeah, did you just know as soon as you were with her? You're like, okay, she's the one.
Yeah, we have so much in common.
Yeah.
It's scary, you know, if you were to really break down even our childhood, the way we grew up, and it is said, I mean, when you're like that, you find each other.
Yeah.
So in our sorrows, we try and comfort each other because we know
what it's like.
Exactly, and we have people inviting us over. I'm like, we can't. We're so socially awkward, me and her.
Yes.
We'd rather stay at home. If we said yes, expect an SMS saying, you know what, something came up.
We're not gonna make it.
You know, because we are so similar in so many ways, and we fight a lot as well as a couple.
Yeah.
And then I'll be watching on TV. They ask her about me. She's like, "Oh, that man is amazing." But I'm like, she's not talking to me.
Meanwhile, she walked out. She didn't even say bye.
Same here. They asked me about her. I'm like, oh, what an amazing woman. I get home, I'm still not talking to you, by the way.
Now.
You know, so we're such a normal, and we try and keep that environment at home. We are so real about everything. Anything that's a bit artificial, we are so quick to say, who's this person now? Who's that? Who just said that? You know, we're so conscious and so real about our world and where we want to raise our kids.
And where do you stay? Because everyone says you guys live in Hollywood.
In South Africa.
South Africa. Okay.
So what happens, Anele, is every summer, which is May until September, every European summer, we move. So because of work.
Okay, I know. You're not there for just for fun. You're working.
So 2 years ago, we stayed in New York, where the little one was born.
Yes.
Last year, we stayed in LA. And then this year, it's going to be London. So it's where work is. We'll go there.
We'll go there.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's like South Africa is the headquarters, like the flagship franchise, ne?
We love this place, man.
And then the other places is the franchises, but they own all the franchises. You follow? We'll be right back. And we're back, sadly, for the last time with Black Coffee. Not only is he a multi-talented DJ, but he's also an entrepreneur, a social activist, and a philanthropist in his own right. We are getting real today with Black Coffee. Is it not difficult to manage other artists? Because let's say I'm a DJ or I create music and I come to you to be under your record company. Yep. There's a certain element of me that wants to be Black Coffee. Yep. And when you can't make me Black Coffee and in 5 minutes, there's a problem. I've
been so naive to that for the longest time. But then there was structure that was built in the beginning. I started a record label, and because I'm an artist, find someone to run it. And so I didn't have to deal with such things. But people would come to the record label because I'm there, and they will try to bypass the person running the label.
To come straight to you.
To come straight to me.
Because if I sign with you, I better have a song with Usher tomorrow.
Oh my gosh. That's been problems, man. I've experienced so much of that, and I've had meetings where I'd called everyone and set everyone down and said, guys, I'm an artist here like you. It's my label, yes, but I don't run it. There's a team here that you need to come on your own time.
And trust them.
And plan. I haven't seen any one of you coming here to plan shows or whatever you want to do. Everyone waits for calls for gigs. And I plan. I'm very paranoid about the future. So I'm always working on something. And I told them, if you see me on a billboard, it means I have been working to get there. You know, and also, if you see me on a magazine cover, I don't go there and knock. It's the work I've been doing over the years. So don't try and compare the two of us. But it is the most complex thing.
Okay, so when you say things like, if you see me on a magazine, you know, I plan and I'm very paranoid about the future. What are you paranoid about? Are you paranoid that this could all end?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm paranoid about growing.
You know, standing still.
I have I put so much pressure on myself about my future. There's so much I want to achieve, and I meet people that are like, I'm sure you're done. You know, I'm like, I haven't even started.
I haven't even begun.
You know, there's so much that I want to do, not just to inspire people, but for myself. There's certain things that I want to do, and I won't stop until I get them.
And I love the fact that if somebody is good and they work hard and they're talented, you take them along with you.
It's especially where we are, Anele, in this country. Everything here is still new.
Yeah.
We're growing. You know, it also helps to grow with other people. Because everywhere I go, at least after I play, the promoter will say, that was amazing. Who else can we bring from South Africa?
Nice.
You know, and I have all these names, you know, but also because I went there for the first time and they loved the vibe. I'm like, there's more of us.
I know you finally tweeted that, and I loved it, where you said, guys, go to bed today knowing that Black Coffee is breaking down
We
boundaries.
had the most amazing week.
It looked like it.
You just saw one party. We did about 4 different ones. We had an amazing weekend with them. It was so nice for me to have
your people
there.
To roll with your squad.
Because if it's not me, it's my wife. And then I come back with all these stories. You don't know what happened at Puff's house.
Yeah.
It was so nice to have other people going and see what I do when I'm away.
And you know what was more beautiful for me was how warmly everyone was received because of you.
It was really amazing. Man.
And I was just like, there you. Now, I once spoke to you and you said one of your many master plans is you want to do movie scores.
Yeah.
At which point I saw the Oscar in your hand.
Yeah.
Literally, I was like, oh.
It's coming.
I was like, when you said, because I'd never, you know, that door had never been opened in my mind, but which means you've got many doors in that mind of yours. And I was like, oh my word, that for me is where we are looking when it's Black Coffee. We're going to get an Oscar for Best Original Score.
That would be so amazing. I mean, I had to sit down with the agency that represents me in the US, William Morrison. They represent me as a DJ. So I told my manager, I'm like, listen, I need to have a meeting with those people. I need to offload and kind of like make them understand who I am. You know, yes, we're getting the gigs, but there's a bigger picture for me. So we had a meeting and I sat down with Joel Zimmerman, who's like a really big agency.
Yeah, big.
The Weeknd is under him. Swedish House Mafia. Like he looks after.
The Weeknd must make babies. Carry on.
Yes, ma'am. So I said to him, I'm a DJ. Cool. This part is sorted. We have a roster that's there. Every year we tour, we fine. But you need to understand I'm a producer.
Yes.
You know, so I want to open this door. If you need production, if you need remixes for other people, and then also I'm also interested in film scoring, of which he was like, oh, really? Then come. He took me to the next room to meet the guy who represents Hans Zimmer, which freaked me out because Hans Zimmer is like the Michael Jackson of this thing.
Of score.
You know, and I think Label M is also with this guy. So we sat down, he was like, okay, can you play me some music? And I played him stuff. Within a week, he sent me a movie scene to score, which was really amazing because I got to learn a lot. And in my head, as someone who works with music, I thought it would be so easy to do it.
But that's another challenge of yours that you're going to grow into.
So I had to learn, I had to learn, and it wasn't as easy as I thought. And then from there, most people don't know this, but my last EP is 2 discs, and the second one is not music, it's a movie. So I did an animation movie where I put my own music on. So people are tweeting like, this CD doesn't play, I'm gonna return this thing. It's actually a DVD.
DVD machine.
It's a DVD. So I was trying to open that door as well to say, this music works in movies, you know, creating my own CV with my own music, basically. Yeah.
Okay. We have sadly
That
come
sucks.
to the end. I know.
I wanted to tell you more. about the collaborations that I'm doing.
Like with who?
Like the features,
Like
the
with who?
remixes. But
Just,
time is up,
just
unfortunately.
drop names.
No, it's over.
Give us letters.
I love you, everyone. Mtata.
It's there.
I grew up there, so you are my people. In Durban, this whole confusion must end. I was born there at King Edward Hospital. And yeah, the show is over. Next time, maybe when I come back, I'll tell Anele everything.
Okay, fine. He took the closing link. That's it from our side. Black Coffee, truly the epitome of African child validating his own dreams and paving the way for the rest of us. After this, he's going to tell me who these other people are that are calling him.
Okay.
Sorry, ne?
Yeah, let's talk.
So.
Okay.